In the quiet village of Meadowville, nestled snugly under the shelter of a grand oak tree, lived a curious little mouse named Milo. Milo was not like the other mice who busily scurried about, gathering crumbs and napping in sunbeams. No, Milo was a dreamer, and every night he would lie on his back, gazing up at the brilliant sky, mesmerized by the twinkling stars. The stars danced and shimmered in the black velvet night, and Milo's tiny heart would swell with wonder. Oh, how I wish I could touch a star. Milo often sighed to himself. He imagined what it would feel like in his paws, warm and glowing like 1,000 cozy fires. When he voiced his dream to the other mice, they chuckled and scurried past. Milo, you're too small to reach the stars, they squeaked with giggles. But Milo didn't let their laughter drown his dreams. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Milo shared his dream with Orion, a wise old owl who perched on a nearby branch. Orion's feathers glowed softly in the moonlight, and his eyes twinkled with the wisdom of many seasons. Ah, young Milo, Orion hooted gently, even the greatest journeys begin with a single step. But how can a small mouse like me ever touch the stars? Milo wondered aloud, feeling the weight of his grand dream. Orion leaned closer, his voice calm and slow like the gentle rustle of leaves. It is not about reaching them, little one, but about the journey to get there. Every step you take will teach you something new. Milo's heart fluttered with excitement. He decided then and there to follow the stars, believing that he would find a way to touch them, one step at a time. The following morning, as the sky blushed with dawn, Milo set off on his journey. He wore a tiny satchel packed with essentials, a crumb of cheese, a small bit of cotton for warmth, and a bright red leaf as a map. His whiskers quivered with anticipation. I will touch a star, he whispered to himself with determination. The path out of Meadowville led him to the bank of the Whispering River, its waters murmuring softly as they flowed on. Milo stood at its edge, pondering how he could cross such a vast expanse. Just then, a friendly voice piped up from the water's surface. Need a lift? Croaked Lila, a cheerful frog with glistening green skin. Milo grinned with relief. Oh, yes, please. I need to get to the other side. With a deft leap, Lila landed beside Milo, positioning herself into a sturdy raft. Hop on. I'll guide you across, she said. Milo climbed aboard, and as they glided over the water, Lila shared tales of river adventures. Milo listened eagerly, his eyes wide with wonder. Once safely on the opposite bank, Milo thanked Lila. I couldn't have done it without you, he squeaked, feeling a new sense of confidence. Remember, Lila winked, sometimes we all need a little help along the way. With a grateful heart and Lila's words echoing in his ears, Milo continued his journey. Each step filled him with hope and curiosity, stirring his spirit to press on, up the path that led onward through the forest's thick canopy, where shadows danced mysteriously, and the call of adventure wrapped warmly around Milo like a comforting blanket. Milo's heart raced with excitement as he ventured deeper into the forest. His little paws pattered softly against the undergrowth, and leaves whispered secrets from the rustling trees above. The path now wound its way to the edge of the formidable Thistle Woods. The woods were known for their thick, thorny terrain, where the brambles knotted and twisted, guarding the way like sentinels. Milo paused, eyeing the task ahead. How will I ever make it through? He murmured, a touch of doubt creeping into his mind. Suddenly, a gruff voice broke through the silence. It seems you could use some help, little one. Out from behind a cluster of thorny bushes lumbered Bruno, a burly badger with a coat like a patchwork of browns and blacks. His eyes twinkled beneath bushy brows, revealing a heart as big as the forest itself. Milo looked up with both surprise and hope. "Hello, sir. My name is Milo, and I've set out to touch the stars," Bruno chuckled softly. "A big dream for a small mouse. But never fear. Sometimes sturdy friends make all the difference. I know these woods well. Follow me closely." With Bruno leading the way, Milo learned to sidestep the sharp brambles and navigate the tangled path with ease. As they walked, Bruno shared stories about the forest's hidden wonders and the lessons he'd learned over his many seasons. Milo absorbed every word, feeling his courage swell with each step. Finally, they emerged from the tangled thickets, the forest opening up to a panorama painted with the golden glow of sunset. Milo gazed up at the sky, the stars beginning to peek out like tiny lanterns. "You see, Milo," Bruno said, resting a gentle paw on Milo's shoulder, "courage isn't just about facing the thorns. It's about having friends who walk beside you." Milo nodded, his heart full of gratitude and newfound strength. "Thank you, Bruno," he said. "I couldn't have done this without your help." With a firm handshake, or paw shake, Bruno bid Milo farewell, watching with a proud smile as the small mouse continued on his way. Milo felt a renewed sense of determination, each step carrying him closer to the stars and the dream that burned bright within his heart. Milo ventured forth, his spirit buoyed by the kindness of friends old and new. The air grew cooler, and the horizon stretched before him as he approached the base of Star Mount, the tallest peak known to the forest folk. Its craggy ascent reached up to the sky, where the stars shimmered like shimmering jewels on a velvet cloth. Milo took a deep breath, his paws clutching the satchel tight against his tiny chest. "This is it. The stars are just beyond," he whispered, determination woven through every syllable. Step by step, Milo began the climb. The path was steep, dotted with smooth stones and winding trails that snaked their way to the summit. The higher he climbed, the more Milo recalled Orion's words, Lila's laughter, and Bruno's stories. Each memory was like a gentle push, urging him onward. As Milo reached a narrow ledge, the sky unfolded a breathtaking canvas above him. Stars filled the night, dazzling and close enough to touch, so it seemed. Milo's heart soared with wonder as he stood at the summit, his vast dream nestled among the stars themselves. He stretched out his paw, reaching toward a particularly bright star that twinkled just for him. But as he did, Milo paused, a thought softly landing in his mind like a feather falling to the ground. Touching the stars wasn't about the reach. It was about the journey that had brought him here, to this place where dreams touched the edge of reality. Milo smiled, his heart full and warm, the echoes of laughter and kindness from friends wrapping around him like a cozy blanket. He had touched the stars in his own way, and it was more wonderful than he had ever imagined. Satisfied and utterly content, Milo began his descent, the first light of dawn shimmering on the horizon. Returning home to Meadowville, he carried more than just stories of his journey. He carried the understanding that small, persistent steps had led him to touch the sky, proving that sometimes the journey brings us closer to our dreams than we might expect.
If you enjoyed this story, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future content.